Welcome to February's Focus 4 presentation, Hazard Recognition. Objectives. After completing this training, you will be able to discuss personal risk tolerance, what influence our decisions, and how to assess what is acceptable risk, identify safety and health hazard types associated with a given job task, apply risk reduction methods to keep you safer. February is one of our most dangerous months, especially the week leading up to and the week after February the 14th. Last year we experienced 12 total injuries and 9 of them fell in this time period. The next few slides discusses our February performance and then what we can do to help protect one another through hazard assessment. Over a 6-year period, our platform has experienced 68 injuries and 10 recordables, making February one of the most dangerous months. That's just over 11 injuries every February. Why is February so dangerous? We experienced another recordable in February 2017, but did a decent job of controlling our other incidents. Making February a recordable-free month is critical for our success in 2018. Goal 0. The platform experienced a balance of injuries across all divisions and countries. This is requiring us to focus our efforts at all divisions and drive our message to every level within our organization. We can achieve 0 incidents. February 2017 incident-free divisions are ACS Tulsa, Corporal US and Middle East, United Canada, South America, and International. The February 2017 injury type should not surprise anyone. Hand injuries and colder weather at times go together. In early 2017, we did not have all of our controls in place to prevent hand injuries. In 2018, we must strive to eliminate injuries by ensuring we are doing proper hazard assessments. February 2017 injury details. While working night shift on a snowmobile tracking tool runs, frostbite occurred to both hands and to both sides of the face. As an employee was assisting in rigging up a pipe to be moved by the overhead crane, the crane operator lifted up on the sling, pinching the employee's left hand between the sling and the pipe. First aid was provided and the employee returned to work. While taking a box of papers off a bookshelf, the wooden shelf they were on slid with the box and fell on the employee's leg, causing a minor cut and bruising. Employee slipped on a rock while trying to climb over a barbed wire fence. Employee sustained a small scratch to the right leg and knee. Employee did not use designated entrance or exit point or supplied PPE. Worker brushed arm against engraving bit, causing a small laceration to the left arm. Employee was using a grinder with a wire wheel attached. Wire wheel caught employee's glove, resulting in a small laceration on the palm. While cutting a piece of PP coating on a pipe, the box cutter blade shattered and caused a cut to the individual's right hand. First aid was administered and the individual returned to work. While attempting to chalk a pipe, the pipe rolled onto the chalk, pinching the individual's finger between the chalk and the pipe, causing a moderate cut to the inside of the individual's index finger. First aid was administered and the individual returned to work. The individual visited the clinic at the end of his shift. He received 12 sutures, antibiotics, and was placed on restrictive duty. No use of hand with injured finger. Employee sustained minor scratches to the back of right hand while trying to clear brambles with incorrect type of gloves. Employee was using a drill press. The material being drilled was not sufficiently secured as such. A piece of drilled material caught employee's left hand thumb and resulted in a small cut. Cut was cleaned and plaster was applied. No first aid was required. While working in Norway, employee twisted his ankle while turning the internal debeating tool. Employee was on level ground. Employee was taken to a medical clinic for a brief exam. We revised the method for using the debeater to include an extra person for stability. We also revisited our boot policy to ensure all managers and supervisors are aware. As an individual was attempting to loosen and remove a coupling before the mid-rack, he felt his left wrist pop. First aid was administered and the individual returned to work. Hazard recognition and risk analysis. How do we work February incident-free? By recognizing hazards, assessing them, and abating them. What are we doing that we have always done that is no longer an acceptable risk? What are we doing in February that is different than other months? Can you think of things that we have always done that is no longer acceptable? Think of our new Aegon life-saving rules. Some of those items are new to the organization and will require us to change our habits. February is a very difficult month for us. We will need extra attention to our work environments, new employees, tools, equipment that we are using. We can work incident-free in February if we put our minds to it. Remember just to take it one task at a time and one day at a time. Definitions. Hazard recognition. Recognizing a condition or behavior that can cause harm. Risk analysis. Analyzing the probability and severity of risk in order to reduce the chance that harm will occur. Injuries, a matter of probabilities. Let's say we have 30,000 hazards. For example, wheel chocks not in place at rear wheels of trailer. There's the potential for 3,000 near misses or first aids. For example, lift truck is driven into truck trailer and trailer moves. Then we have the potential for 300 injuries requiring medical attention to occur. For example, driver jumps to the ground and sprains his ankle. Then we have the potential for 30 lost time injuries. Example, driver jumps to the ground and breaks his leg. Then we have the potential for one fatal injury to occur. For example, truck trailer moves, driver jumps to the ground, and lift truck rolls over him. If we focus here at the bottom, we can prevent what comes above it. Why is risk analysis and reduction important? What are some examples of occupational injuries and illnesses that you have seen? What were the impacts of those injuries on the employee, to his or her family, co-workers, and to the business? How do we decide what is risky? Is it our experience or from training? What is an acceptable level of risk? How do we determine if certain activity is safe or unsafe? Let's look at examples of activities and rate the risk level of each activity. What's your personal risk tolerance? Where would you rate these activities? Factors that influence our decisions. Personal factors: experience, knowledge, age, physical ability. Situational factors: stress, rushing, control. Organizational factors: safety system, leadership behaviors, peer behaviors. Personal factors. What personal beliefs would motivate someone to do this? Our platform was the first to take on the Zero Incident Initiative. It was then followed by our executive team, who set the company's value of zero incidents are possible. Our safety systems, leadership, and peer behaviors all will impact our risk acceptance. Remember, we are possible of doing great things, and we must believe to achieve zero. How many at-risk behaviors have you seen? What would you do to stop the next at-risk behavior or condition? Being able to speak up and address a situation is critical to our safety. Also, being open to the same conversation if you have put yourself in harm's way is important. We must be our brother's keeper. We have all heard the excuses for not working safe. Luckily, this is changing within our company. It is no longer acceptable to not wear your PPE or take undue risk. Remember, if something is not right, you have the authority and responsibility to stop a job. Risk perception. We perceive risk differently. Many factors influence our decision. By understanding our risk tolerance and personal organizational factors, we can prevent injuries. Prevention is key. This is why reporting our leading indicators is so important. It gives us a chance to prevent the next incident from happening. We must be proactive and must act on what we are seeing. Objective reasoning versus personal opinion. Use the risk assessment matrix instead of relying on one person's assessment of what is risky. Accessing acceptable risk. Probability. Unlikely, not likely to occur. Likely, may occur. Very likely, near certain to occur. Severity. Marginal, minor injury or first aid. Critical, injury or lost time injury. Catastrophic, death or permanent disability. Using the risk analysis tool to determine risk. The intersection of probability and severity in the chart above equals the risk code. What risk code would you assign? Identifying hazards. Identifying hazards before starting a task. What is involved in the task that can hurt me or my coworkers? How can we keep from being hurt while performing this task? Types of hazards, unsafe conditions, unsafe acts and behaviors. We have a number of tools that assist us in preventing incidents. Our Hazard ID process gives us the opportunity to identify hazards. Our behavioral-based safety observations give us an opportunity to have good discussions with our co-workers, identify hazards, and educate the workers around us. Our job hazard analysis, or JSAs, also give us an opportunity to review the task at hand and discuss any hazards. These are all items that could potentially impact us, and we must constantly evaluate them. Remember, conditions are always changing, and we must stop and document them when they do. Developing a safe solution or plan. All of these questions must be asked of your team when evaluating the workspace. Can I eliminate the hazard? Can I minimize the risks? Do I need help? Is there a better time to do the work? Do others need to be informed? What specific PPE and tools are required? What lockout permit is needed? Is there a reliable method or procedure I need to review? What is the safe solution? Decide if someone could be immediately injured. If it's an emergency, risk code greater than 1, talk to your supervisor and reach agreement on how to get the issue fixed as quickly as possible. If it is not an emergency, put controls in place. Not sure of a safe process to use? If the risk is beyond marginal in severity and likely or unlikely to occur, I need to contact my supervisor and/or the safety department. Share my concerns, discuss at post-outage meetings, team meetings, and so on. Act safely. Follow your solution and plan. Review before and after. Prior to performing a task yourself, recognize what is involved in this job that can hurt me or my coworkers. Reduce. How can I keep from being hurt while doing this job? After performing a task, ask each other, what was your assessment of this situation? What risks you identified? What were the identified controls? What can be shared with others? Share learnings at post-outage meetings, team meetings, and so on. Injury prevention activities. JSAs, JHAs, procedures, engineering design, training, housekeeping, inspections, audits, safety meetings. Participate in injury prevention activities on and off the job. If you have any questions regarding hazard recognition, please reach out to your safety team.